Hello my friends, how are you? I'm back with another video, and this time round we'll focus on the O sound and its importance in received pronunciation, which is just a fancy word for the British accent. But in case you're wondering why I chose the O sound, let me tell you that along with the letter R is the most important sound you should focus upon if you want to sound like a native British English speaker. So, what I'm saying is that if you get the two sounds, R and O, right, you've mastered about 80% of proper received pronunciation, and the rest is just a matter of practice. Of course, it's easier said than done, because you've got to invest plenty of time and effort into your accent practice before it becomes your second nature, but it doesn't change the fact that if you get the O sound right, along with the R, you've done most of the hard work. So I'd say, let's get cracking and look into why the O sound is so special. First of all, the typical British O sound is very distinct, and you can get it right if you purse your lips as if you're about to blow off candles on a birthday cake. You don't get a sound like this in the American English, so it might present some difficulties for you in the very beginning, but I'm sure that with enough practice, anyone can get it right. What I did find a bit tricky though, was incorporating words containing this rounded O sound into sentences. It required quite some time for me to get used to the sharp change that takes place when you pronounce the rounded O sound, and the next sound you have to pronounce is a different vowel. Saying things like to blow off makes you quite naturally want to start the next word, which is also beginning with the letter O, with the same sound, blow earth. So you've got to train yourself by way of frequent practice to repeat those words containing the specific rounded O sound, like home, road, moment, and incorporate them into longer sentences. That way, you'll be able to speak fluently, and you'll instinctively know when to purse your lips and when you have to go back to a fuller mouth position, so to speak. But if you think this is all you need to know about the British O sound, you'll be in a nice surprise. Not only you've got to learn that the traditional O becomes rounded like this O, you also have to learn which words contain the much shorter O sound, O. Well, if we want to call it by its proper name, then I should have said the open back-rounded vowel. But I think there is no need for all these fancy terms, so we'll just keep it simple. Let's take, for example, the word dog. In American English, it's pronounced as dog, and so are many similar simple words, on, off, and also longer words containing the letter O, honest, probably, problem. In the received pronunciation, the letter O in all these instances is pronounced as the open back-rounded vowel, O. So, these words are pronounced on, off, honest, probably, problem. So, when you're learning to speak like a Brit, you've got to make sure you pronounce all such and similar words with the O sound instead of the O sound. Personally, I found that it was kind of going against all I've learned before about proper English pronunciation, because one of the first things I realized years ago was that many international words which will be pronounced with the O sound in my native language, such as problema or contracts, don't actually have the O sound in them when spoken by native English speakers, and they become problem and contract. But now, when learning the British accent, I actually realized that I have to unlearn that and have to pronounce those words with the O sound, which is much closer to O than R. Of course, it's not a very distinct O sound like in my native language, or, but I still think we can call it an O sound, which falls under the same category as a rounded O sound. So, I hope that this information will come in handy for you, my friends, and see you soon again in the next video episode. Bye!